Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Monetize Your Message. Hope you're having a great Wednesday, and we are really excited, we being me, because we're having tech issues. So I'm excited, and Jesse's excited in spirit to be here today with Brigid Ward. Just as a reminder, this is the show where we're talking about how you can use your message to make money in your business. And we work with Brigid in a number of ways. She is, let me make sure I get this right, the client happiness lead at Member Vault, which is our chosen and very favorite course platform. And it's all about student engagement. It really stands out. It's awesome. We're going to dig into that a little bit more. But we also unofficially call her our business mom. She's our amazing OBM, and we absolutely could not even move an inch without her. And we just love and adore her. And we're just really excited. I keep saying we. I am just super excited. The royal we.
Well, we know Jesse
really
has been trying. Jesse has been trying to get on this, so we know the we makes sense because Jesse and are a dynamic duo. So yeah, it's but we had to get going without poor Jesse because remember our Be Live is just not behaving tonight.
Not today, yes, exactly. But hopefully she can join us later. Regardless, though, we are doing this live because if you guys have questions, we want you to feel free to ask them. So please, anytime during this, if you have a question, a comment, anything at all, feel free to pop it into the comments and we will address it. So with no, Jesse says, I've been done.
Oh, Jesse.
I know. Well, you can
via the Facebook group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Brigid, to be here and to hang out with me today.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Exactly. So I want to just dig in a little bit to your story before we dig into what you're doing now. So tell us a little bit about us. I cannot. Like, if I ever went into business solo, I'd just, like, be we forever. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your journey and how you got to be where you are today.
Definitely. I will shorten it a little bit. Definitely was in corporate for a very, very long time. Did marketing, project management, the whole 9 yards. Ended up quitting that when I was in New Zealand because I used to live in New Zealand prior to living in Texas right now. And when I was in New Zealand, I quit and decided I wanted to run my own business and started a kind of a coaching business. And I was doing kind of helping newbie entrepreneurs, trying to get everything set up and help them and push them, you know, like Mama Duckling, push them out into the, but I did it for almost 2 years and it just didn't totally light me up. And I felt like I just wanted to do more for these people. I wanted to just like take over helping them with their emails and setting up all their, you know, I would tell them what they needed to do, but I just wanted to do it. Does that make sense? So,
Totally.
Which makes sense what I do now. So when we moved here to Texas about a year ago, everything sort of fell into place for me. I had a corporate contract that ended, some contracts with one-on-one clients that were ending, and I wasn't in the mood to really put myself out there that past 6 months to try and find new clients. And I was just listening to what was coming up. And then I sort of decided, you know, started writing in a journal and figuring out what I really wanted to be doing and what lit me up versus what didn't light me up. And I still loved working with entrepreneurs. I still loved helping them like stay in their zone of genius and I could help them, you know, make more money, become the CEO of their business. And I realized that was the OBM role. And that was being able to do and take care of a lot of the tech issues and a lot of the behind the scenes issues and help them still in the strategy and still doing a little bit of coaching because as Marie knows, I constantly am always coaching in the background and helping them. And they're always like, you are such a mom, but it is true. I am a mom and I love it. And I can't turn that side of me off. And that's what probably makes me successful in what I do today.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really makes you stand out. It really means that you have a crazy amount of value and you give a crazy amount of value. And also you're just like a lot of fun. And I think that's part of it is you've taken the time to figure out, you know, what it is you excel at. What does that really mean? like these preconceived notions that we have about like what we're good at and like based on like what we've done and like what we, what we've been paid for in the past.
Right.
Like a lot of that, you kind of have to like work through all of that to figure out like, okay, well, what do all these labels mean? Like really, and like, does this really fit me? And I think there has to be a little bit of that experimentation to be able to figure out like really where you excel, really where you want to be.
Exactly. And I'll be perfectly honest. And Erin Kelly, who is one of the co-founders of Member Vault and also kind of my mentor and my friend or friendtor, if we want to call her that, friend and mentor. She helped me realize something too, because I've never thought of myself as technically savvy. I never really did. And yet, because I think I'm married to a man who's super technically savvy. So I was like, oh, I'm not technically savvy. He's super tech, and she's like, are you kidding me? You're totally technically savvy. And I was like, oh yeah, I am, and so it was one of those things where things like that just came easy to me, and things that didn't come easy to me, I could figure out fairly easy. Like it didn't take me that long. And I liked working behind the scenes, and I've always liked managing a project or managing people or managing, just helping people see things that they don't necessarily see. Cause I have that weird innate ability to be like, you know what, you guys are missing this little piece right here. We need to do that. And I'm not afraid to share my opinion. That's the other thing. I think it's probably being one of 8 kids. You had to speak up to get heard. And so I've had to do that my whole life to be able to be heard. You have to speak up. So I've never been afraid to speak up.
Yeah. I think that's something I kind of want to dig into a little bit actually is like, so you're somebody who is happiest being behind the scenes.
Yes.
A lot of people in our community are like that, right? Like maybe they're a coach and they have their own business and they have their own public facing message, anything like that.
Yep.
But really what's happening is they are enabling their clients to shine, right? And excel and succeed. I mean, that's how we feel about what we're doing too. So what thoughts do you have around how to use your message to stay behind the scenes, but still be true to yourself? Like how do you strike that balance between like being out there and like open to the world, but also like staying in that like behind the scenes supportive role that you really love and cherish? And also Jesse's trying to come in, so I'm going to see if it works this time.
Yeah. No, I love it. So for me, I think there is a balance, and because I am, and a lot of people don't necessarily agree with me when I say, oh, there she is.
Can you guys hear me?
Hey!
Yes! Hey! Sorry about that.
Hey, no problem.
Welcome to the
battle with technology.
Yeah.
I caught most of what you guys were talking about. I had it up on my phone, so I think there was just a slight lag. So carry on and I'll jump in.
No problem. So how I balance being out there with my message and versus being behind the scenes, I guess. Like I'm by nature an extroverted introvert, so I can talk a good talk with like one-on-one people, maybe 2-on-1, but not in a big group. I get really I shut down and I get really tired and whatnot. And so, but for me, like I can do these Facebook Lives, no problem. Like Mike Kelly, the other co-founder at Member Vault, he and I do a Facebook Live every Thursday. And I love it. I really love it. I have super fun time with it. And it's a way to get our message out there about Member Vault and helping people and sharing our message. And it just makes sense. Now, for me, for my own business, it's a lot more word of mouth, but I always try to do and show up in ways that make sense to my clients. Like I've been working with you guys now for I think it's 6 months. At the beginning, I didn't say to you the things I say to you now because I was because I knew that, it was a new relationship, and maybe it's because I am a mom and I am probably old enough to be your mom, and I just could never act it. I'm just a big kid in myself, but it's that idea that, I know how to read people and go, you know what, let's ease them in. Let's win them over, building that know, like, and trust inside with a client. And that's really what it is. It's like, I needed to build that know, like, and trust. If I went in there and saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, you'd be like, hello, psycho lady, you're fired, And that wouldn't have
That's
worked.
really good.
And so for me, I had to kind of build it up, make sure you guys saw me as an asset and a role that was a valuable role to have on the team. And then really I go, hey, like we had 2 weeks ago, our conversation that said, hey, Bridge, we're still doing too much. We need your help. What else can you help us take from us? And it's like, all right, let's do this. So we're like, all right, you're not allowed to go to Zapier anymore. And you're not, and you're not allowed to go to lead pages and things like that. And that's where you have to get to that point where my clients trust me enough where they can say, yes, we need more of you. And that's where what happens. But it is about building that know, like, and trust and not trying to do it overnight.
I feel like that ties into, we were talking a little bit yesterday about confidence. I feel like it's like almost two-pronged. Like you have to have confidence in yourself and your own message, but you also have to make sure that your clients have confidence in you, especially when you're in a support role like you are, where, if our first conversation had been like, all right, Jesse, you're no longer allowed to go to these web pages, I would have been like, oh, but that's how I waste my time. But
we know, but
I know I'm wasting my time, but I'm not ready to let go of it yet. We had to get to the point where we literally had a meeting that said, Brigid helps us stop doing all the things. Like that was the agenda.
Yeah.
But we weren't ready for that in January.
No, heck no.
And that's really good too, because a lot of times we talk about messaging like, okay, here's what goes on your web copy, or here's what goes in your Facebook group, or this is what you talk about with people you're not working with yet, like as a way to build up that know, like, trust factor from the beginning so they sign on in the first place. But sometimes it's true for people with referral-based businesses like you, and oftentimes like us, like part of our business is referral-based. But I think it's true for everybody that it's like, your messaging isn't done once you get a client signed. No. Like, in fact, it's just begun. And like, then once you're inside a program or once you're inside a service or inside that relationship, like it's actually all the more important that you keep up the message, right? Because that's when like you maintain that client, you maintain that relationship, you get more referrals, like they love you, they like feel like their business would fall apart without you. I'm not speaking about you specifically at all.
I know, but it's true. You can't. It's never done. Like you can never just say, "Okay, I got a client. Great, now I can just sleep over here and not do my work." It's like no, it's like constantly showing up. And as you guys know, like I have some personal stuff going on, but even that, I've been really like, "Ooh, I got to get my game back," because it's like I love my clients. I only work with people I absolutely adore because it's like you guys are like family to me. And to me, it's too important in our life these days to work with people who don't light us up. And I think that I feel lucky because a year ago, I'll be honest, I wasn't doing this job or this role for people. And I didn't have the confidence I do now. Like I had confidence in other areas, but I didn't have the confidence as a coach because I could tell them all the things they needed to do and I could even show them a bit, but it was up to them to get out there and do it. Like I couldn't do it for them and I couldn't carry that confidence flag. I could carry the flag, but I couldn't carry that confidence for them enough. Like I couldn't be them. So for me, it was like, all right, so when I took on this new role in this new business in January, it was really like I knew I had the confidence to do it. And if I didn't know exactly what to do, I knew I had people I could reach out to, like Erin Kelly, and be like, help, I don't know what to do. But I'm a quick learner too. So I just had to just know that I could help people. And I knew that in my previous job, I was really good at doing that in corporate. And I knew I could, I've done it in my own business. So I was like, I can do this. But I had to have that confidence, like you said, Jesse, first and foremost. And then be able to be like, all right, I can do this. And then it's that constant just making sure that I'm building those relationships within my clients.
Yeah, it's all about the building up. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
I want to make sure you didn't have something brilliant to say. No, I think it's totally true. And I think especially for a lot of people who either have just pivoted or rebranded, or maybe are just starting out, that confidence is really a key factor that they may not have yet. They may be working towards, or especially if they're pivoting and it's the pivot to what they were meant to do. Yeah. Like it's like a light switch goes off and it goes from like, nothing quite feels right. My messaging is off. I'm not getting clients. It's just not connecting. to, oh my God, everything fits and the clients are coming in and the content, it makes sense and it's easy to produce. And I am excited to talk about my message with people. And it doesn't feel like work every day. It feels like my clients are family, like you said, and my work is fun.
Exactly. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, that literally, I don't even know if you guys know, you guys were technically my first clients in this role.
Really? We didn't know. I had no idea.
I know. That's why I was like, oh, see, Marie, I could, they're my first real clients that have ever hired me in this role. And so to me, that's why I'm like, I even adore you guys more. But I never let you guys really know. I just was like, oh, I can do this, and I mean, a lot of people who say fake it till you make it, and that's not a good thing. I had to maybe fake it that in that first official conversation we had, because like, oh yeah, I can do this, no problem, and I can help you, and because I knew I could, but yet once I got in it, then I was like, oh yeah, I got this. But it was that moment of, once I took on and let the universe or whomever, and like kind of guide me to this place, it did. Everything fell into place. Like, you guys might have been my first client, but I was nearly booked out within 2 weeks, so it was that kind of snowball effect. And I mean, I had a 9-month mentorship that I had, bought, and I had it paid off within 3 months, I mean, so amazing. It really was that thing where it really is that when you finally figure out what you're supposed to do and your messaging and everything starts to fall into place, the clients, you do. I mean, I've reached out to people and said, hey, I want to help you. I can support you. I can do that. I'm not afraid to do that now. Like, I worked with a web designer and I said, I didn't hire her, but I had a client that hired her and I could tell that she needs a little guidance. And I was like, you need me. And I wasn't afraid to do that because I know I can help her. I know that I can take her business to the next level because she does beautiful work. She just doesn't necessarily have all her processes and checklists in place and ready to go. And then with my help, I know that we can take that business to the next level.
Totally. I love that about like that feeling of like stepping off. I mean, you didn't say this exactly, but like to me, because I've had that experience too, where you're like almost like stepping off a ledge a little bit, but like that the ledge is only like an inch tall. Yeah. Because you can do it. Like, you can do it. You may not have done it in that capacity before, but like trusting yourself and knowing the difference between like totally something, right?
I have a coin here that says faith, but it's leap of faith. It was supposed to be leap of faith because I really felt like I was taking a leap of faith in me. And so I bought this thing back in December, January, and just said, it's my little reminder that, yes, I have faith in me that I can do this business and do it well. As long as I am, have integrity and I keep communicating and do what I do best, which is support my clients, because I know that I can do all this stuff. And it keeps you guys in your zone of genius, which is reaching out to clients, talking to people, building relationships. And then it lets me do all the behind the scenes stuff. And I can see where there's a hole, or I can see where there's, hey guys, you know what? We need to add this thing to Member Vault, or we need to add this, survey here, or and then you're like, oh yeah, we do. So it's good, but you guys can stay in your zone and let me see the holes.
Yeah. And I love that fake it till you make it mentality too. I know that like some people disagree with it, but having been a high school teacher, like, when you're thrown into a classroom for the first time, especially when you're like 21 years old and it's like, here's a bunch of 17-year-olds, it's like, that is what you do. You fake it till you make it. And it's not that you're lying about what you can and can't do. It's that you are having confidence in your ability to figure it out. Exactly. And that's where the confidence is. Yeah. You may not know the details, but the details aren't important at the beginning. And that's how you learn best sometimes, is by throwing yourself into the fire so that you have to figure it out.
And that's absolutely 120% agree with that, because that is exactly what it was. I knew I could do it. It's just that I thought, well, if I come across something I'm not sure of, I know I have a backup plan where I know somebody I can reach out to. So I knew that if something came up, I'd be like, I got it. Like when I saw you guys, your first active campaign sales funnel, I might have been.
Oh God.
And I started.
Yeah. I hope that wasn't the first funnel you saw, because I'm sorry if it was.
It's all good. It was all good. We figured it out and we have it in a much better place now. But that might have been a moment where I was like, oh,
Okay, we were too.
Like as we were creating it, we're like, are we insane? We're insane. We're crazy.
But see, that's the good thing is you guys think you're crazy and you really aren't. And that's what's so fun about you two. Because you're always like, oh, we are like the worst people. I'm like, oh my God, they're like the best. They don't even know it.
That's good. You're also a cheerleader.
Yeah, I never was a cheerleading people, but I cheerlead on my team.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm a good, yeah. It's like I'm a soccer mom and a water polo mom. So I'm constantly cheering. So then I just transfer it to my clients.
So yes. I wonder if, so for some people who may not have that support staff that, right. We have found is so crucial, but we also went 5-6 years without having support staff. So we definitely know how it is to be in that place in your business where you're just doing all the things. And a lot of times things do slip through the cracks as a result. But for some people, they may not be in the place where they're ready to hire a team yet. How do you recommend that they get the confidence to move forward with their message, move forward with their brand, connect with people, build those relationships so that they can get their business to a place where they can get support?
Yeah, and I really firmly believe it's so much about relationships. It is so much about relationships because I wouldn't be in my role today if it hadn't been for relationships. Like really, because most of my clients, I either had a relationship with somebody who had a relationship with that person that said, hey, Brigid's awesome, you need to talk to her or whatever. And so and it's about not being afraid to just say, hey, let's get on Skype. Let's get on a phone call. Let's go have coffee if you're in the same area. Let's meet up at this networking event or whatever. And like I said, introvert here, I'm not going to go to very many networking events, but I did jump on Skype calls a bunch in my first year. I just did. I was like, hey, let's connect. Let's talk. Let's have a chat. And so those people I've connected with 3 years ago now have stayed friends with me. And so I know there's people I'm like, okay, as they get bigger, I'm going to reach out to them and say, hey, you need me, Yeah. And so it is one of those things where I do feel like, relationship building is key. I do think that people, they can always find there's enough VAs in the world. And now a VA is very different than an OBM. But there's enough VAs in the world who don't charge a ton. There are some that are still charging way too much. But there are VAs in the world that you can get that maybe, can just take care of some things for you that will alleviate some of the brain power that you just cannot do if you're willing to create a little Loom video and share it with them and say, hey, this is what I need. Here's the job. I need you to add these people to my membership site. Or I need you to, or whatever it is, or set up the Zap for me, or, whatever. But because it's amazing how much that amount of time in doing it, if you actually put a timer and tracked it, you probably are wasting 2 hours a day, a week, or whatever, doing some of that stuff that you shouldn't be doing. And the reality is you could be paying, because your time is money. And I think a lot of people don't realize, if you can charge, let's say you charge, we'll go small, it's probably $500 an hour. But if you could, let's just go small and say it's $100 an hour. Okay, we're going to make easy math here. $100 an hour, and you could pay somebody $20 an hour, or $15 an hour, $10 an hour, whatever, to do a simple task that's a repetitive task. Why wouldn't you do it? Right. This is what I do with my cleaner. I hire a cleaner for this house because I don't want to spend my time. I know what I charge per hour, and if I can get them to do it and, for less money, and meaning I break it out in hourly wage, it's why would I do it? It will take me 4 hours to do it. They come in and do it in 2.5. Boom. Right. I'm saving money. So that's why I always tell my husband, he's like, you're right.
So there's your argument for the reluctant spouse, guys.
Exactly. My sister-in-law said the same thing. She goes, I never thought of that. I need to run that by your brother now.
Genius. I love it. So I don't want to not talk about Member Vault because it's the other side of what you do.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your role as client happiness lead.
Yes. So I love my clients and I love Member Vault. So I get to be the client happiness lead over there. And I am, basically it's all about our customer service. We really, really believe in a high touch customer approach, I guess, because we don't, I mean, Member Vault, if people want to go set up a course in 2 minutes, Member Vault probably is not the right situation for you. But if you want a really highly engaged, a way that you can engage with your students and have, that ability, then Member Vault is for you, because it is just such a great course platform, as you guys both know. But it's, I basically get on calls with prospective clients and current clients and help them set things up if they're having, struggling or whatnot. A lot of times it's just a half-hour call that we set up, but I can do that with the same person 2 or 3 times like I am currently right now. I have a woman I'm helping, and she's awesome, but she's not necessarily as technically savvy, so she needs a little bit of guidance. So I've sent her little videos here and there of like how you do this and how you do that. And so she's sharing with me, okay, I've done this and I've done this. Am I on the right path? I'm like, yes, you are. So it's just, I want to make sure she feels supported and knows that once this is set up, she doesn't have to touch it again. And that's the beauty of it, because she's trying to set it up such that it's a kind of an evergreen process as well. Part of it's going to be evergreen and part of it's going to be launching, on a regular basis. But there is going to be a part that's evergreen that she's just going to have to be able to just kind of set and forget. And that's ultimately, I said, if you can get through this first 3 weeks and just get it all set up, it will be fine. And so far so good. She's doing great.
That's awesome. And I love that there is that high touch, because I feel like so many platforms, even if they have really great tutorial videos and great FAQs and stuff like that, sometimes being able to actually talk to a real live person and just be like, this is my problem because I'm not tech savvy in this way. Right. Or I am everyone runs into different little hiccups that may be a little unique to them and how they perceive the information and how they learn. And so having someone to actually walk them through it is so valuable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I even sent her a note. I sent her a video on Sunday. I wasn't, I don't try to work on Sundays, but I was around and I was like, I don't mind. So I just quickly recorded this video for her and shot it her way because I knew she was struggling. It was her birthday, it was like all these little things going on and I just felt bad. I was like, here, I'm just going to do it. I just, hopefully it'll help you out. And I know that she was like, that way she could just keep going. Cause that feeling of like, oh, it's Sunday or it's 9 o'clock at night. The good thing is Mike is 2 hours ahead of me. So sometimes he can jump on and grab it. Like he grabbed an email from this particular client and was like, hey, don't mean to butt in, but I know Brigid's the weekend and she's at a water polo tournament, which I was. And so he kind of jumped in there and helped and supported her. So he and I sort of tag team. We both know what's going on, or we can see the same emails. And if it's not me, it's him, vice versa. So I tend to be the one that jumps on the call. He'll go behind the scenes and figure out if it's beyond my control.
So there's a recurring theme here about relationships. I mean, the reason we love Member Vault so much for our courses is because it has this student engagement piece, and it's how it stands out among other ways, right, from other platforms. But what we mean by that, for those of you guys who are watching, who are not familiar with Member Vault or don't know what we're talking about with student engagement, it's like, if you join a course and you're like, yay, I'm going to do this e-course and it's self-guided. And then you do the first module and then forget all about it or get distracted or run into a roadblock, right? This happens a lot, right?
A
lot. Well, what you can do through Member Vault is you can actually have the system tag people and send them little gentle reminders that are actually in your voice, right? You can write the email and be like, hey, Fred, did you forget? This is going to be awesome. Do you need help? Let's hop on a call. Whatever you want to set up, you can set up so that your students, even if it's a self-guided course, they feel connected to you. They feel like they have a relationship with you. They want to continue learning from you, buying from you, stay part of your tribe. So it's all about relationships. And so it totally makes sense that as part of Member Vault's message, that you guys, yes, you want to have that relationship between your clients and their clients, but for you and your clients, you also want to have that kind of supportive relationship. So it's just this beautiful harmony of those two messages coming together. And I just love that. And also the whole you and Mike and Aaron all working together behind the scenes, you guys have a great working relationship too. This is a team that isn't full of like bickering or fighting. Like you guys are all on the same page, you're unified, like you all like each other, you work well together, like all of that comes across really well through your messaging.
They call me Auntie Brigid. They call me Auntie Brigid because of Connor. I'm always like, Connor's like my little nephew, and I literally, they're like, Auntie Brigid wants to say hi, Connor. I'm like, I literally... So when we have team meetings, we get on Skype, and I'm like, "Where's my Connor fix? I need my Connor. Come on." So literally, I created for Connor for his birthday. I created a member vault T-shirt for him, and I sent it to him. And and I said, "Love Auntie Brigid." So literally, that's. I mean, so yeah, I only work with people that I really feel like are family, and I do. Like we've talked about. Aaron, Mike, and Connor. Oh, Connor doesn't really talk yet, but you know what I'm saying. We're talking about all of us doing a retreat out in Washington at some point, where I bring my boys and hubby, and we go out there and do a team retreat. So that it is sort of that. That's what's important, and where you can really know that you're in the right place, and things start to click when your messaging's spot on. Things like this happen.
Yeah, I think, we can relate to that. Definitely having, working in a team environment, it's always been the two of us. I don't know that we would do very well if it were just one of us or the other. And, but part of the reason that is able to happen is because we work well together. Yeah. You couldn't just take Marie out and replace her with random business partner number 2. It doesn't work that way. You have to have the relationships within the team, whether it's a business, partner like me and Marie or other people on your team. So you and anyone else that we bring in to help support us, there has to be cohesion there. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I think that's the thing, you can tell pretty quickly when people are going to fit and not fit, you can tell when there's and I hate to use this terminology, good client or bad client, but you can just tell sometimes. And if you listen to your gut, you'll be like, yeah, I shouldn't do this, and I've been fine. I took on a friend as a client once, and I wouldn't let her renew the next month. I said, I adore you, but I don't want to work for you anymore or with you anymore. And I don't mean that in a bad way. She was a lovely person, but I just was like, you know what? This isn't a good working relationship. I'd rather keep our friendship and not have this working relationship because she was a terrible client. Yeah. and that's okay. But that I learned quickly. And I luckily am at an age where I'm like, I'm pretty confident in myself. I'm okay saying no, if it's not working. And there's times where I'll say yes when I shouldn't, but then I'm quickly like, oh yeah, no. No. Totally. It's listening to that gut, listening to that intuition, relying on what you know about relationships and yourself. Absolutely. Cool. Do you have any other questions for Brigid, Jesse? No, I'm just kind of sitting and absorbing, because I think it's so simple, but it's so powerful. Be confident, make relationships. And those are the 2 ingredients you need, and everything else is the details. It really is. And I probably heard it for years, but I didn't really believe it. And then, when I did, like I said, my coaching biz before, about a year and a bit ago, I did a small course, and I sold it out, but it was all relationships. It was relationships I had created with people I created this course for them. I knew they would need it. But I would not have sold that out if I had not reached out to people, talked to them, conversed with them, and said, hey, you know what, this course I really think would be valuable to you. And so it's no, I wasn't the most successful coach in the world, but I knew what to do. I just didn't like necessarily doing it. I didn't like putting myself out there so much in the limelight. Mm-hmm. That's why for me, being behind the scenes and being able to kind of slowly nudge you guys out of the nest, it's better, it's easier, it fits with my personality. Yeah, and that leap of faith, I think that's super important too, is if something isn't working, if something doesn't feel right, check in with yourself, acknowledge it, and then figure out what your next steps are. And sometimes those next steps do involve a leap of faith. They do involve shifting or pivoting or changing, and that's okay. Exactly. Exactly. Change is so much easier when you are supported by those relationships.
Yeah. And I'm fortunate because I have a very good husband who is just like, I just want you happy, babe. So whatever, it's like, because he knew that I was not happy when we moved from New Zealand to here because I was worried about the kids and the schools and the soccer and the water, everything. And so I went through about 3 months of like, oh my God. So he just wanted me happy. When I said, I'm not doing this anymore, he's like, okay. And I said, I'm doing something else completely different. He was just like, okay, we're just going to keep supporting you, whatever, like, I don't care. It literally was just, and so when I started working with clients and making money and stuff, and he's like, sweet, she's smiling, that's all that matters, And it really was that, like I said, I'm very lucky, knock on wood, because it is nice to have a partner who does just want, he's not, I don't know. He's just a supportive guy who just wants to see me happy because he knows, obviously, if his wife is happy, his life is happy. So, so that he's one smart cookie, that guy.
Well, it's true. And he obviously knows, too, that there's other types of success than just dollars in the door. Like you feeling fulfilled, you feeling like you want to get up and work in the morning, like you actually enjoy your clients or, the people that you work with. That's success right there if you're feeling those things.
Exactly. And I get like my kids it's on summer holiday. They're in the back, we've been hanging out today, but I've been working and, I took my youngest son to a soccer training yesterday. So yeah, all of that is successful. So that's the keys. You got to define success in your own terms, but you also it all starts with messaging and confidence. And so I think it is a mixture at least for me, that's how it works.
Yeah,
awesome.
And I think for everyone, like at least those elements have to be present.
Definitely, absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry I missed the first 5 minutes.
Hey, I'm just glad we got you on. I'm glad you were insistent on getting back on. So that's.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to miss this.
I know you're one of our favorite people on the planet. It's been really awesome to hang with you, to hear from your wisdom, to hear your stories, and I think, too, to impart some of that wisdom and encouragement for other people, because I know a lot of people have pivoted, a lot of people have felt like things are a little bit off in their business or their message, and like there is hope, like you can set it right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm always, seriously, if anyone's watching this and is like, really, how can you do it? I swear to God, just private message me, private message these guys. We will always talk to you. We will never not. I think that's just part of who I am and Jesse and Maria are. We would always share with you any sort of, like we're not people you can't touch, right? It's like we're humans and we all have hearts. So I just never want to see somebody who says they can't pivot, because to me, that's just ludicrous. So believe in yourself and believe if you really think you can get from point A to point, I won't say it, but I would say point Z.
You just did.
I did. I was like, I wasn't going to, screw it, I'm going to. You just have to take the steps. You got to take the action and start believing. And it's just, don't think you're going to get there right now. Just go to B first and then C and just start doing it. And then it could very easily snowball like it did for me. That was the thing. It was when I knew I was on the right path, it just went, whew. And I was like, all right, this is working. So just got to believe and take action.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brigid. It's been awesome.
Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.